Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Gary and yeah, I'm setting up a project called Free Oak Farm, and the vision for the project is to, obviously it's a land-based project, so to get onto the land, start in working with the land, invoking permaculture principles, planting trees, building soil, producing compost, collecting rainwater, producing food, and generally being of service to the earth, and yeah, building the ecology within the space. So that's obviously primary. Secondary is to have independence in food, water and power, and to bring people together through education and to inspire people to take responsibility for their lives, and to have independence from the system, which I think most of us now that are awake or awakening can see that it's it's failing. And yeah, and to sort of create a independent, I suppose, family. I don't want to use the term community. Community, it's derived from commune, communism. So we need to start, not using that word community. It's got loads of fluffy connotations, but actually it's it's not a great word to be using. So I'm going to just use the word family, and that can be extended out to brothers and sisters, anyone that has shared values, anyone with similar intentions for their life or for the planet, and or for the earth, should I say. So yeah, to build a family really, and to once we've built enough of these families, is to be able to exchange resources, time, skills. It could be exchanging gold, silver. It could be exchanging wood or fuel or anything like that. And we're starting to build independent systems that we can essentially trade and barter amongst ourselves, and start to pull away from that system that's enslaved us all for centuries, lifetimes. So that's in a nutshell what the vision is. A little bit about myself. I'm my name's Gary, obviously, and I've been sort of involved in permaculture, regenerative farming since just before the pandemic. So just before the pandemic, I was a maritime security consultant. I was working on super yachts and protecting super yachts from pirate attack, and then the pandemic started, and all of the craziness with regards to the lockdowns and all of the measures that were sort of brought in around about that time. I decided to quit my job, and so we're talking early 2020. I quit my job because I wasn't going to be paying taking part in any of the vaccines or mass mandates or anything like that. And as soon as I left my job, it was a good job. I traveled the world. I earned good money. I enjoyed my role. But obviously I was, having to, I was bound by someone else's law, so to speak. So I ended up quitting my job, and me and a friend called Balkar Singh, who was a Sikh guy. This is another story. I just want to keep this introductory video super brief, really. I will go into depth more about myself, my journey, my experience, and how I come to be in the position that I am in today. But I'm just going to give you a very brief explanation now. So I met Balkar Singh on a close protection training course in the Czech Republic. I was a physical training instructor for essentially a bodyguard company running courses out there. Balkar Singh and a few of his Sikh friends were part of the intake, part of the candidates that wanted to become bodyguards. And yeah, and essentially I became friendly with Balkar. Balkar had 2 acres of land in Oxford, and just after the pandemic was sort of official and everything was in lockdown, Balkar asked me to go up to Oxford and to help him train his men and to essentially build a farm, right? So we've got something really cool just about to happen here. There's a farmer. The farmer's bringing up a load of sheep. So I'm just going to take you. I'm going to go and have a little look at the sheep. Look at all these sheep coming up the road. See them? Yeah. So yeah, so Balcar invited me up to Oxford to essentially build a farm and to train his Sikh men using my military and my physical training experience, which I did. It was called Love Farm, that was the project. And I'll tell you more about Love Farm and what happened there at a later date. The sheep are just going by now. The sheep are just going by. I'm gonna have to stand here and make sure that they don't go past. That's what the farmer wanted. It's all right, they're all trotting on. Look at that. Yeah, so Balcar, eventually me and Balcar fell out. Yeah, me and Balcar fell out eventually after 2.5 years. And I am going to do a detailed video about my experience at Love Farm and my time with Balcar in Oxford. But today is the introductory video for Free Oak Farm, which is essentially where I am now. So, that was 6 years ago. And, since leaving Love Farm, I've been desperately wanting my own plot of land, wanted to, do my own design. I want to be able to, make decisions that are in alignment with my values and what I want to, achieve out of my life. And so today is a very, very special day, because today is the first day that I am actually going to be working on the land and on my own plot of land, right? So for the last 6 years, I've been praying and working hard and saving money in this hope that one day I will get my own plot of land, that I will be able to, like I said, do my own design and implement this this lifestyle, this way of life that I see is the solution to a lot of our problems in society. And today is that first day. So I'm somewhere in Devon. I'm not going to give out the exact location. I'm somewhere in Devon in the United Kingdom, or shall I say on Britain. There's no such thing as the United Kingdom, only exists on paper. And so I'm here on the landmass of Britain in a location called Devon. I use the term open quotes, and I've got access to 4 acres of land. I've just recently gone through the you can see the old for sale sign down there. Yeah, and I am now the legal title holder of a piece of paper that gives me access to 4 acres of land. And so here we are. And I say this is just a brief video. I'm going to be doing more in-depth videos. So that's the land there. I'm just coming through the gate off the main sort of council road. There's my van. So I didn't really speak to you about the van. So I've been doing van life for the last 6 years. So when the pandemic hit, I was working on super yachts. I had a little apartment. I was paying all this money out in bills and all that sort of stuff. And I decided that because I quit my job doing super yachts and I moved to Oxford, I bought myself a van. I converted the van into a motorhome, and as you can see, I've been living in this van for the last 6 years, with the plan to save as much money as possible, so that I can buy my own land. And here I am today, 6 years after that initial idea. And 6 years of hard graft and being quite disciplined, saving the money and all that sort of stuff, living in a van, which I've absolutely loved. Again, I'll do another video about van life and how much it's been just the most amazing experience for me. But yeah, that's my little van there. Again, I'll do a more in-depth video about the van and what that did. But so here we are, day one. I'm here as the legal title holder to 4 acres of land in Devon, yeah, quote unquote Devon, on the landmass of Britain. I've spent the last 6 weeks, four or 5 weeks, something like that, doing permaculture design. So I've had the drone up, I've gathered the drone data, I've done some soil testing, I've done a thorough assessment of the land. And for the last sort of 6 weeks, I've been really knuckling down, getting the design done. And yeah, the design is really taking shape. So I'm here today to get a fence up, actually, because the entrance is quite open and exposed. A big part of this project is about, you know, having the right of privacy, right? Being able to operate within a private capacity, yeah, and also a lawful capacity, and so part of this project is understanding or learning the law and understanding one's rights within the law, yeah, and challenging so-called authority, you know, authority figures coming from, say, like the police or the council or the government, and actually challenging these institutions, challenging these so-called authorities lawfully, and essentially being able to exist peacefully as God intended, right? God gave us dominion over the earth, over the fowl of the air, and over the creepeth thing of the earth, and understanding that we are sovereign in our own right from that perspective, yeah. And the only way that anyone else can hold any authority over us is if we give them the authority. And so, yeah, not only is this project about being connected to nature, building soil, you know, planting food, you know, planting vegetables, planting trees, you know, grazing animals, improving the ecology of the land, making the land better. It's also about demonstrating personal sovereignty and independence, and making a stand, really, yeah, making a stand and showing and inspiring others that actually, if you just stand up and you know, act in a lawful and honourable way, really, there's not too many laws out there or too many rules and regulations that really can stop you from doing that. So I'm starting to waffle a little bit. I don't want it to go too in depth on it, but I just wanted to give you a brief outline of what the project is, who am I, what I intend to do, and yeah, come along for the journey, and I'll keep you updated as this project continues. Yeah, thanks for watching.